90% of kids that take the CSAP have the full potential to get all advanced.
On what?
95% of kids who get 100% on their CSAPs learn how to be alligator wrestlers by the age of 30.
And some of them go on to live isolated in the outer space regions of our world and our universe.
Superman and Catwoman both got 100% on their CSAPs.
Corey Dyer did not get 100% on his CSAP.
These are some questions that we really need to be asking ourselves. Take a listen to some insight from Seth Godin's linchpin. Often we trade genius and artistry for apparent stability. 10 years ago, our economy wanted you to fit in. It paid you well to fit in. The educated, hardworking masses are still doing what they're told, but they're no longer getting what they deserve. This situation presents a wonderful opportunity, an opportunity to actually enjoy what you do and to unlock the genius in all of us. The dilemma: I notice my colleagues are creating and presenting incredible lessons. I know incredible students are attending their classes. That should be a really good mashup, but it's not. The question: how can students not be engaged in learning in these settings? I do my brand of research. I listen. On listening to kids, I ask, why is this not working? What would work? And they answer with brilliant suggestions of how to make a class work. The only problem? Almost every answer was different. These multiple answers fed more questions in my head. What's the significance of their diverse answers, and how can and should that impact public education? On listening to others, Saul Kaplan recently posted, "Our rhetoric is too much about institutions and not enough about real people." Alan November asks a vital question: who owns the learning? Sir Ken Robinson says we are not linear. We need individualization. Carl Wyman says we need expert individual tutors. Ben Wilkoff: we need to purposefully select a group that will challenge us daily. And Will Richardson: the main thing we need to model for students is how to learn in our personal learning networks safely, ethically, and effectively. And this, I found, this is the only new of the web worth losing sleep over till it's changed. We can now individualize learning in public ed, so we should. Yes? Some action. We got permission to pilot a math class that has personal learning networks as its premise. Groups, expert tutor, and fellow students no longer bound by geography but carefully selected per passion, and the textbook, information no longer limited to a book but open source via the web and individually paced via their networks. Approximately 30 students decided to give it a go. Our findings, besides the fact that learning is messy: standardized tests and content is not going away soon, so rather than waste time discussing any aspects of it, we embrace that content in the most efficient way possible. We created a self-automated cyclic grid. The kids also came up with some real creative ways to teach each other. One of their favorites was the 5-minute tutorial. We also determined that for this idea to work, individualizing to the max, we needed 2 factors: passion and self-motivation. In a math class of 30, not even half had a passion for math. Most were good at it, but not passionate about it. And while most are by nature self-motivated, that's only under the current way we do school. For example, they were driven by daily grades that test fixed, standardized box content. Take away those grades, and other classes that still had the grades eventually trumped our class in the time allotment for studying. Just a reminder, this isn't a curriculum agenda, it's a people agenda. We're wanting what's best for all players. A new vision: we got permission to start a district-wide innovation lab that focuses on 4 things. First, students creating their own course per passion.
The way music's evolved over the years, like we've focused a lot on how, like in the medieval ages, they worked on mainly just like 5th chords, and as the years went on, it just got more complex and complex, and we've been working on those different techniques as they go along in time. And we've noticed how a lot of times when there's a composer that's kind of like breaking from the new age, a lot of times they're criticized because what they write is not normal. Like Beethoven wrote a lot of songs that people didn't like because it just didn't sound what they were used to. But as time goes on, we realize how smart those ideas really were.
The second is to train students to be tech interns for the classrooms. This would allow teachers to model learning. The student would come in per need and train the class and the teacher at the same time. That keeps the teacher from having to know all the tech, and it mashes up the students' natural abilities with education. Number 3, training kids to be interns for the library. We see the library as the new hub of the school where kids go to edit and create videos. It's also a great place for kids to have access that don't have it at home. For students as marketing interns, one plan they have is to collect clips weekly from all the schools in the district and put them on Facebook and on school sites so that the community can see the possibilities with rich web access. So different decisions might be made about spending money and about having open access. This naturally led to creating a Your School Design It, an offering for students to choose from different types and methods of classes in each content: blended, online, traditional, project-based, inquiry-based, student-centric. For example, Joe excels in science. He's planning a career in it. His high school pace seems slow, so he picks up a course built special for him from some MIT lectures. The next year he creates his own course. Someone he thinks could be his future employer becomes his expert tutor. He and his tutor join in a PLN based out of both MIT and CSU, working on the same project.
Okay, the thing that probably was the biggest barrier in high school for me was just the classes that I had to take that I never saw as necessary for my major. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they want to do for the rest of their life in high school. I mean, it's kind of a big decision, but I always have known that I want to be a communications major. And here I am in college and I'm a communications major.
This led to creating Your Professional Development Design It. Teachers' main goal is to create their personal learning environment where they will be challenged daily, then to choose what method suits their style. Teachers' roles are now as diverse as students. Many are facilitators of the PLE's connections for kids. Others enhance their content expertise. They don't even have a class. They just meet with students individually or in small groups by appointment. They also create podcast lectures for others in their content area to use. Each teacher designs their own professional development.
Here's the questions, and you used to just fill in the answers. You look up the bold words either in a textbook or you listen to me and you think you have it all just because you wrote in a sentence based on these questions. We're going to take away the 8.5 by 11 and let you research the topic of how is the Earth's atmosphere heated.
I mean, do you think what you're doing today is a little bit different?
It's a lot different. I think this is a big step because we just have to go in the normal textbook, but like, I don't know, I just see it growing more and more. It'd be cool to be able to use like phones and like all of our resources that we have to research everything.
And now one last bit that we think is really important because we feel that standardized testing has driven so much of what's been done in the past. We believe that schools should now be assessed on 3 things. Number 1, student access. Is there free Wi-Fi? Is there availability of multiple tools, tools that would be natural for the kids? Is there time during the day to use them? Are you using the library as a hub? The second thing, process. Do teachers model learning, particularly through purposefully created personal learning networks? And 3, is there connectivity? Are the students now able to put rich learning into practice through their personal learning networks and personal learning environments? And if so, then everything becomes authentic. School becomes real life. Safe is now risky. Status quo, standardization of content can cripple students' future success. Individualization and self-advocation promote indispensable citizens. That's what we need.
Here to like pave a new path of knowledge, and like it's more than just like an opportunity. It's a responsibility now for us to do the most that we can with this, and to like get innovative and get creative and to start like fixing the world through math, or like through this whole new system. I mean, it's huge, and I don't think that we've truly taken into like order like how lucky we are and how we really need to like produce something awesome.